So we're here to engage First Atlantic Merchant Bank as part of activities marking their 25 years in existence as a bank. And I have with me here the board chair of First Atlantic Bank, Armar. Thank you so much for having time to engage us in terms of how the bank has fared so far. Let me first ask you can you walk us through the bank and plans in terms of commemorating the Silver Jubilee as a bank, sir?
Okay, thank you for giving us this opportunity. Before I highlight specific activities that First Atlantic Bank is organizing for this Silver Jubilee celebration, I'd like to briefly share with you and your listeners an overview of First Atlantic Bank in terms of the operational evolution over the past 25 years, and then elaborate on the mission, vision, core values, and service proposition that we offer to our customers. Okay. And then after that, we can go into some of the other issues. Okay.
So can you just walk us through this bit where you're trying to explain to us, sir?
Okay. The First Atlantic Bank was originally registered in late 1994 and started operations in 1995. So for the most part, from 1995 to 2011, it operated as a merchant bank with limited services. Now in 2011 to 2012, it acquired a universal banking license. It also had a strategic investor brought in to help it meet the minimum capital requirements of Bank of Ghana, and then launched itself as a universal bank, offering, in addition to the merchant banking services, commercial and full retail services. So since then, it has actually grown quite rapidly, and the changes have occurred in about 3 phases. The first phase was to stabilize and consolidate itself as a bank. And so for the most part, from 2014 to 2016, this was what was happening. Then it started an expansion program, which is phase 2, which is 2016 to 2019. In the midst of that was the restructuring, the banking exercise. So it had to recapitalize. And it recapitalized based on a merger with the former Energy Commercial Bank. And now, after that's behind it, it's now fully established as a bank. It's met all the minimum capital requirements of the Bank of Ghana, and now we are in an expansion phase and in a digitization phase. And ultimately, the plan is to go global from Ghana. Okay.
And talking about the 25 years, you have actually been able to walk us through some of the critical milestones that you've chalked as a bank. Has it been all that smooth for the bank in terms of 25 years? So there have been some challenges, but indeed you've managed to sail through and weather the storm as a bank. And that's what has made you a bank, a strong bank like this today.
Yes, as I said, the first phase, or the first period till up to 2012 or 2011 was basically First Atlantic Bank operating as a merchant bank, and it had a number of challenges there. Now, I can say that after the transition to a universal commercial bank and the introduction of a strategic investor recapitalization, things have been pretty smooth in terms of expansion. And I can demonstrate it with some of the statistics, if you don't mind.
Well, you can explain to us in terms of those that you want to explain to us as a bank, and how you've been able to sail through some of these things, and how that has brought you this far as a bank in 25 years of operations as a commercial bank. So you can just walk us through in terms of these numbers that you're talking about.
Okay, so from the beginning, you're talking about a bank with about 6 branches. Right now, we are in the order of about 35 branches. And we are in 4 different locations in Ghana, as opposed to just Accra. We are in Accra, Takoradi, Kumasi, Techiman, and Tamale. Okay, now in terms of customers, from the time First Atlantic Bank got the universal banking license, started operating as a universal bank, the customers have gone from about 8,000 or 9,000 to currently over 100,000 customers. In terms of total deposits, We've gone from about 166 million in 2012, and we're now over 2.3 billion. Okay, and in terms of profitability, profit before tax, from 5 million to over 70 million. And now we are doing loans of the order of maybe 500 million cedis. Okay, so each of these statistics shows that as a universal banking organization, we are on the growth path. Of course, there have been various challenges, such as meeting the new requirements for recapitalization. And as I said, this was handled through a merger with another bank, and that process is now worked its way through. Now we are repositioning ourselves for the digital banking challenge. And then in the light of the Africa Continental Free Trade, we are also getting ready to move on a regional basis, okay?
And you talk about the expansion. So one would ask that all other things being equal, what period are we looking at you stepping on that paddle to roll out to these other markets in the region in terms of First Atlantic Bank?
You're talking about now or in the future?
Talking about the expansion drive. I mean, what period, not date, I'm looking at what period are you working with that will look at this expansion into other markets?
In the future?
Yeah.
Or in the future, what we're talking about, the next, we have a strategic plan, a corporate strategic plan, where most of these will be put in place. All the various underpinning tools will be put in place between now and 2023. Hopefully 2023, if things have stabilized in light of COVID, the plan was to go for an IPO, okay, and to raise more capital and then expand in the sub-region. Okay, so these are still on track. Of course, we're still in the midst of this COVID pandemic, so things will be adjusted as and when necessary.
In 5 years, do you think that you have solidified? I've seen very great numbers. Have you been able to solidify your position here in the country as you spring aboard to other markets?
Yes, I would say from 2012 to now, the bank has now stabilized and solidified its position as a universal bank. Okay, the challenge ahead is in terms of going regional, okay, and that's by virtue of the regionalization and regional integration, and then also to go digital, offer a digital banking platform. That's the only way it can cope. Now, First Atlantic wants also to ultimately be among the first tier banks in Ghana, which means that we are among the 5 most efficient banks, and also in terms of size within the top 10. Okay, and all of this we are talking about in the next 5 to 10 years.
Tell me how you are integrating digital technology into this whole drive in terms of moving on. What role is it going to play in this expansion and moving on as a bank after 25 years?
Okay, this is central. I mean, the whole idea of digital banking is central to the growth of First Atlantic Bank. Now, in the first place, we have taken steps, okay, over the last few years to get all the technology and systems in First Atlantic Bank, banking systems, up to date and compliant with international standards for banking, for security, and for business process automation. Now, we've also created a new business unit. So First Atlantic now has a digital banking business unit that is now working to integrate end-to-end banking transactions on digital platform. And to help that, we have an innovation center, which is a specialized unit that's been created that now works solutions inside First Atlantic and also networks with other fintechs, both in Ghana and externally, to draw the best practice and apply it in our system. So these are what I would call the platforms that are being created, digital platforms, so that we envision it being one of the premier digital banking organizations in Ghana in the next 5 or 10 years.
Talking about next 5 or 10 years. So what should Ghanaians also be expecting from you going forward after 25 years of operations? What should we expect from you in terms of excitement and product offering and services and whatnot?
Okay, well, First Atlantic has always had a service mantra, which is what we call the purple experience, okay? And if you see the logo, it says refreshingly different. Now, in this context, going digital, offering most of our, or all of our products, digital platforms, being right next to the customer. We have something what we call the eye care. Okay, so there are various things that we do across the board within the staff to make sure that each customer has a pleasant banking experience, hassle-free, and also, I would say within the digital space, just in time, everything automated. So this is how First Atlantic is actually differentiating itself. Although we're small, we know with these basic practices, we are going to get where we say we will be, which is a first-tier bank within the Ghana space. Now, on top of that, we have Pan-African shareholding, who are from the sub. We have an institutional investor from Nigeria, and then a private equity fund investor that is also from West Africa. Now, we also have fintech partners, one in Nigeria and several in Ghana. So all of these linkages are forming the sort of the platform to transition to a fully functional digital banking experience that First Atlantic strives to be.
A final word for customers and even the public and those who are on the verge of becoming your customers and your clients.
Well, let me just read through the service mantra, and so that you can get the different dimensions of what we hope to offer to them. As I said, we have a service mantra, purple experience, but it's embodied in what we call eye care to each customer. And we serve you, each customer, with integrity, with customer-focused attention, and also we are agile. That's why we're doing a digital, and we're also preparing ourselves to be resilient during this transition. In fact, during this COVID period, we have actually been growing, okay, because we've stepped up the offering on digital and mobile banking. And at each stage of the banking cycle, we try to offer excellence in everything we do. We have a suite of 8 different banking products. We also have affiliated companies that are into asset management and brokerage. So we are a full-service bank, and like I said, through the work we're doing on digitization, we can assure every customer of hassle-free banking. We kicked off the Silver Jubilee
George Riafe, with that conversation, it's now time to bring you some show business. Kadi is standing by. Remember the Ahaya hit maker, is it? Nana Boro? Okay. Well, he's rebranded, guys. So I don't want to spill the beans. He's got a new look and a new name. Kadi will be speaking to him. Do stay on.